isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute, oh. I never thought true love would be making one as lovely as she. Oh, isn't she lovely? Made from love. Well, it's alright, it's okay. Live to see another day. We can try to understand the New York Times effect on there. Whether you're running away, you're running, staying alive. You're staying alive. Feel the steady breaking and everybody shaking and we're staying alive. So staying alive. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive. Staying alive. Ha, ha, ha. Staying alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Saxton Ultimate Event Experience, and that is exactly what this is going to be. My name's Melissa Hetherington.
And my name is Matt Hetherington.
And we are delighted to be your hosts for this very special program this morning.
What is it that will give you a sense of purpose and meaning? You could end up in a place that you don't want to be. It's about living powerfully and purposefully and acting courageously. But what is power? I define power as our ability to affect change. And often we think of leaders, people who are in high places, as powerful. But the truth is, those people, great leaders and people who are incredibly successful, are where they are, not because of the power they've been given, but because of how they've used the power they've always had. And the same power resides in you. And you know, too often we do surrender power to our circumstances. We let our failures define us. We let our setbacks define us. We don't choose powerfully how to respond. We become passive. We live by default rather than by design. You can tell how successful someone will be by how they explain their failures. It's how we choose to respond in the moment to the challenges we deal with, whether it's a difficult colleague at work or it's a shrinking market, how we choose to say, what is it I'm going to do now? To really choose powerfully rather than just to react.
I was kind of outwardly successful, but actually not very happy. So I started thinking about this relationship between happiness and business, and they're not words that you normally think of in the same sentence. You know, business is business. Business is sort of meant to be stressful and serious. And all the metaphors around business are things like sport and war and Darwin and survival of the fittest. But you know what? It doesn't really have to be that way. What if there were a happier, healthier way to think about business? So here's an example. Whole Foods in the US. It's kind of a supermarket. That's doing them a disservice, but so you know. They started off with a single store in Austin, Texas 30 years ago. They now employ 55,000 people across the US. They booked $12 billion in revenue last year. But their purpose was never to get big. Their purpose from the beginning was to make the world better with good food. And they've engendered such passion and loyalty amongst customers and employees and suppliers that they don't really need to spend any money on marketing. The story takes care of itself.
I'm standing on stage like I am now with my band, and it was a mixed band. When I say mixed, there was Protestants and Catholics in there. My two best friends were there, but there was two Protestant girls. And we're standing there what we think is a football dinner dance. So it's pretty lavish, everyone's in their finery, and they're sitting having a meal, and there's outside caterers brought into this big hall. All of a sudden, someone grabs the microphone off me, and 15 masked men watching, all in military gear, balaclavas, blacked out boots, guns, Kalashnikovs, Uzis, you name it. They march across the front of the stage and the guy shouts, "Company halt." And it was then I realized, as the crowd were chanting UVF, that we were not playing a football dinner dance. I honestly thought there and then we were dead. And to be honest, it boils down into 3 or 4 simple things. One, hard work, definitely. I'm the guy who's worked, I've had an overnight success after 20 years of hard graft and hard work. I'm that guy. And I've just learned to take it on the chin when you get knocks and you just get back up again.
Never really before has the modern human seen such a huge shift that we're going through now. And whenever there is a new player on the field, the game has to change. And the new player is technology. Because what we're seeing now in society is a shift of our team players. The us, tweeting, and the them. The people that go, that is ridiculous. Now, we know that whenever there's a break or a shift in society, it's hard for us to continue to connect. If there's going to be an us and a them, nothing good can come from that. Because, like I said, this is the start of our huge dynamic shift as this modern human being. We've never seen anything else like it.
I love empowering people to change. I'm a change maker. I'm a transformer. That's why I call it my 12-week Word of Transformation. I'm about change. And it's not just about the physical. Weight loss and getting fit is a byproduct of changing the way in which you think. I want people not just to look at it that way, I want them to look at it that way, and that way. And I do lots of different things to do that, one of which is the physical, because I'm a big believer and have learned over the years that you put someone under the pump with a bit of physicality and they very quickly realise how strong they really are. Wow, I did that. Oh my God, I'm a rock star. Woo! Come out of a training session truly believing in themselves. So I want to cut to the chase because I'm a pretty kind of action girl. I'm a doer. I want to cut to the chase with you right now and ask you, what do you want?
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, when there's no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. There's no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. There is nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love.
An experiment they used to do in the 1950s, an era of magic that I absolutely adore, is they would test psychic powers. They would get the spectator to think of a word, a random word, and then get them to project the first letter of their word to the crowd. Now I need you to think about how many syllables are in this word. Don't count them with your fingers, don't nod them with your head. Just think to yourself, how many syllables are in this word? For the first time, could you, in a very loud voice, please tell everybody what that word was? Hummingbird. That what we believe actually dictate how we move forward. So for example, the people who believed it wasn't possible, they didn't even go on the journey to see if it was actually possible. They didn't even try. But because I believed it was possible, I gave it a go. So I'm going to show you how it's done. So what happens is, the first step you take, you have to actually believe that it is possible. Because if you don't even try. So as a magician, I believed it was possible, took the first step. Then you see the second step. It's rather obvious. Anytime anyone opens a book, they always open the pages towards the middle of the book. Because to them, that is random, right? They don't usually choose the 20% at the beginning or the 20% at the end. They usually go for something in the middle. 25% either way, you can throw it away. 50% in the middle is what is important. That's the second step. And you can only see the second step from step 1. You can't see the second step from step 0. Then the next 2 steps are the most interesting, to which I'll not share. The interesting is this. I realized that what we believed is actually possible is more important than what is actually possible in reality. I realized completely that just because I believed it was possible, this first step was so crucial that if I didn't believe it was possible, I wouldn't even try. So if you're running a business right now, imagine your people, imagine they didn't believe in the business goal. What does that mean? It means they're not even taking the first step.
I was actually quite devastated in doing all of my research to find that it all pointed to belief being one of the 5 factors, scientifically proven, that impact success. I had this horror image in my head that one day I'd be on a stage somewhere backing up a magician about the subject of success, talking about something like belief. Right? That was the horror picture I had in my head. And I walked around the house ranting, saying, I'm writing a book about science. Science. And this is beginning to sound like the universe is serving me something. You got to believe it. You got to believe it, right? It was devastating for me. But you know what? I kept digging and I kept going a little bit further, and I discovered that belief is one of the 5 scientifically proven factors behind success for one very simple reason. People act in a manner consistent with their beliefs.
May today's messages stay with you, enliven you, and enlighten you, and help you enjoy and fulfill your own personal paths. And if we can help you have that same effect on your clients, we'd love the opportunity. You so deserve to get rich rewards from this morning. Our sincere hope is that is what we've delivered to you.
Suddenly, you've got a baseball bat around your head and you're on the floor, and that's shocking. I've never been hit with a baseball bat.
But what happens when change is forced upon you? And you're probably saying, why me? Why is it me talking to you today? Because this experience was 23 years ago. Well, we all have change forced upon us. That's the nature of the world. And how do you deal with your fear and your sense of inadequacy? Because that's what I had to deal with. And I learned 3 things, and I hope these resonate with your lives. First, you have to accept the brutal reality. 2 minutes ago as a prisoner of war is a waste of time. We all spend our lives finding a success formula and then repeating it endlessly. But what happens when the world changes? My world changed.
I like the crackle of the old vinyl. Break loops. Make moves from my HQ.
And please welcome back Mr. Matt Hetherington. Come on, bro. All right, let's get the hands going. Oh, yeah. Brother. Hey.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
If you look around, the whole world's coming together now. Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Feel it in the air. The wind is taking it everywhere. Yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? All the colors of the world, loving each other wholeheartedly. Oh yeah, 'cause it's alright. Take a message to your brother and tell him twice.
Spread the word and try to teach the man who is hating on his brother when a hate won't do. See, we're all the same. The blood inside of me is inside of you. Here we go now.
Can you feel it? 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 We'll spread word and try to teach the man who is hating on his brother when it won't do. 'Cause we're all the same. It's the blood inside of me is inside you. The idea is known, everybody. Can you feel it? 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 Can you feel it?
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of that? That was just spectacular. Please give it up for these extraordinary performers. Idea of North, Thum, Ciaran Gribbin, Darren Percival, and Matt Hetherington.
Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been the most wonderful audience. We look forward to seeing you next door at AIME along with all of the presenters. And may we hope that what you've got from today carries with you for today and the rest of your life. And each and every one of you, have a wonderful day.